Okay, so good morning, everyone joining us from everywhere. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this International Women Day. This is the 8th of March, 2025. The World Association for Sustainable Development, with all its associated networks, platforms, and projects, is very delighted. We are all very, very delighted to organize this conference every year. We follow strictly the theme of the United Nations because we're celebrating this day together with the United Nations. So we follow the theme of every year of the United Nations. We are in London, based in London. So for those in London, it's 10:30 or 10:39. So it's good morning to everyone in Europe and all that area. And we also saying good morning to those others in still some area which is still late morning, like in Saudi Arabia, and or maybe starting to be early afternoon in places like the Arab countries, Middle East, Africa. And then we go towards those in Asia, Pakistan, and going to Indonesia and China, which is getting late. We know that because we have a lot of projects with Chinese. So we are all welcome here. We are very pleased to see you here, and also very pleased to see a lot of women. Of course, it is the International Women's Day, but we always say celebrating women, it's not just about women celebrating women, but it's about, I can just see now some there from Fahal and others. There's a lot of people. And also when I look to the journal, which we start publishing now, I'm very pleased. There is men in the editorial board. So that idea of the editorial board has to be completely women. No, we're working here together. So I think this is all I wanted to say quickly. We're recording this video, welcoming all those who are joining us on the YouTube or in the Facebook. And we will do our best to monitor these platforms as much as possible. But the important thing, this video are recorded, and then after we finish, we will edit them and we cut them talk by talk. The World Association for Sustainable Development, we have been engaged in projects relating to women's empowerment for many years. And we are very pleased and very proud to have been doing as much as we could, although we still haven't done enough, but we have been all the time very keen to engage. Oh, I'm really pleased. Let me make this picture. I think there's a lot of, there's many people here. I can't take big one by one. But we are very pleased with all the work we have been doing. We have been very keen every time. Even I remember in 2018 at the United Nations in Geneva, the Secretary General, he mentioned the whole table, the top table there, women were greater than men. It was me, Petru Dimitriou, and I can't remember, there's another two men, but the others, they were all women, and the secretaries from the United Nations and Gail Rigobert from Zaloshia. So we tried our best all the time to have at least women equal to men in everything we do. Our conferences, our publications, our everything we do. And I'm really pleased when because you know myself, Janet, and all those from WSD, we are completely independent in these women awards we're going to announce, or Janet will announce at the end of the day. But yesterday, just the last 2 days, and yesterday I discovered one of the shortlisted is from a war zone in Sudan. I discovered those who were shortlisted, one of them is a long life campaigner for women. She has done a lot of work. She's blind. I discovered another lady who is having a disability from birth. There's a lot of, so for me, I think I'm very pleased, and I believe all the people in WSD to see that our award ceremony attracted people from as far as Madagascar, South Africa, Sudan, Indonesia, where else? Of course, Middle East, Europeans, and then you go to Pakistan. That means I think the message is reaching out. So that's what we have been doing. I will just give you quick things. I think when we celebrate this International Women's Day, whether at the university or online, one of the key messages we always wanted to deliver on this day is that this is a celebration. We are not here to talk about the power of men or women, who is better than the others. We are talking about partnership. We're talking about we all here together, because the United Nations slogan is always about global thinking and local actions. And I think we're going to hear to a lot of these stories today when we talk to Pakistan or to Sudan or South Africa, or all those ladies. They're going to join us from Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Madagascar. They are doing fantastic work locally, but it has a global impact. That's number one. What we also very keen to do on this day is to make sure we educate ourselves and remind ourselves why are we celebrating this International Women's Day? And more importantly, and I have been teasing my colleagues at universities, even professors many times, why the United Nations is celebrating the International Women's Day on the 8th of March. And I would like anyone following us now, watching us, joining us, take your mobile, although I know you have your mobile with you, try to search now while we are doing this. Why the 8th of March? Why not the 9th? Why not May? Why not April? That's why today is a weekend, but we still have no question. It has to be the 8th of March because the celebration is attached to this day for a particular reasons. And if you go to the United Nations women agencies, you will see the story about this day. And one of the stories is that the 8th of March is the day when the Russian women start striking and so on and so on. And then you will hear more stories about the first country allowing women to have rights to vote, interestingly, is New Zealand. And then you go through the stories and you hear about the countries which have been leading front, like Egypt. This is according to the United Nations website. So New Zealand, number one in the whole world, which allow women more rights. The 8th of March is particularly when the Russian women start to strike. It's a long story. We try to encourage ourselves, students, everyone, even in your household. Ask your husband, your wife, your daughter, your son, why is the 8th of March? And it takes them maybe 1 minute to find it from the mobile phone we're all holding. So that's one important issue, education about why we're celebrating. So why the 8th of March? Why we're celebrating? The whole idea when you go to the United Nations website, to every website celebrating the International Women's Day, is all agreeing on one sentence. It is the day we celebrate the remarkable achievement of women across the world. It is the day we celebrate fantastic work done by women, specifically done by women. For example, we're going to see a lot of stories. These are very few stories. Very few stories we're going to be able to give them chance to speak. But there's a lot of stories going across the whole world. So we are celebrating this remarkable work across the world. When we are celebrating this, the United Nations keep emphasizing, and every one of us here, I think, emphasizing the same, irrespective of their color, where they're from, what is their religions, nothing. This is a day where we're talking about women as women, whether they are Black women, ethnic minority, whatever the terminology they use, whether they are Muslim, Christian, it doesn't matter. We're talking about women across the world have made a remarkable progress. And here I would like to use a quote by one of the senior consultant cardiologists in Imperial College, who is leading one of the courses in West about advanced executive healthcare leadership. In his introduction about the course, he said, the best thing to learn, he was talking about the course we are delivering for healthcare, executive healthcare leadership. And he said why this course is unique, because there is no better than to hear it from the people who managed to become top leader in healthcare. So his reference to top women, to top leaders in healthcare, that means you will learn from the best. So I think today we're going to learn from the best, from the women who have made it, from the women who have been through all this long experience of the challenges. We all know women are still struggling. Women are still facing lots of challenges. Even in terms of, still we hear a lot of problems women facing, even in the UK, in Europe, in the countries, even in many, many places across the world. And there is a lot of stories about women being subjected to a lot of violence, killing, rapes, and all these are issues women are still facing. But despite that, progress is being very high. And I'm not very happy with the progress, but to give you one statistic, I just recently read 25 to 27%, I think, from the top 100 universities across the world are now led by women. Cambridge, Oxford, many universities now are vice chancellor or presidents are women. Even I remember in countries where this movement towards giving women more chances of becoming leaders in their countries, you can see there's a lot of progress. University is not the only example, but women are now leading in corporates, women are prime ministers, women are everywhere. But the example of universities, even those in the UK, Janet might correct me if I'm wrong, the university where I used to work with Janet, University of Sussex, which we all proud to have spent, I have spent 15 years there. They only managed to have a vice chancellor, women, after 60 years of the university existing. Just example of our own employer, former employer, for example. It took Sussex University 60 years. I'm not using Sussex just as an example. But what happened now? Most universities they have by so it's changing. Things are changing. In Sudan, Ghana, I met her. Vice Chancellor is a woman. South Africa, I remember. So things are really changing. Most of the leaders we know, I can just see in front of me. Just one example, because I just saw her. Professor Hanan Malkawi from Jordan. Top scientist in Jordan is a woman. Not only on the award she's being given by the king and so on, but she's a top scientist worldwide. So when you talk about someone like Hanan, is a top scientist worldwide. So they are really, and her voices are everywhere. When you look at people like Benny, is making a lot of changes across this country. Award is something by the Queen, OBE. There's a lot of big stories women are making, and this is what we're going to do here. I will finish this introduction with sharing with you what we have been doing in WSD, and I will invite you to join us. This is a big journey, and I will make this very quick because I know we have, where is WSD? As I said, was celebrated, it is 20 years anniversary, I think 3 years ago. We have done a lot of work. There's a lot of brochure you can see, but very small things I just wanted to mention about women projects. I will encourage you all to go and browse our website. We do a lot of work. There's a lot of brochures, a lot of videos, lots of things you can see there, and so on and so on. Our engagement with everything. But in terms of women, if you come to the women, this is what we feel very proud to have done. Number one, we have a dedicated space for everything to do with women. We run a lot of debates, conferences specifically for women, not necessarily the International Women's Day, but we do lots of debate, global debate. In all the global debates we run in WSD for many years, we always ensure there are women representation. You can see here, just the top one, for example, one of our founders, Professor Seema Joshi from India, together with Professor Al-Hawai and Professor Manuel. If I go quickly to see just samples, just to see quick look, Professor Gail Rigobert from Saint Lucia, Emma Robertson. This is one of the UN meeting. I think there's a lot of women here. If you go down here, Professor Farida Fortune, I'm just randomly going through them. Here you have Angie from Bahrain. Here you have, what's her name? I know she will, I think Janet, I completely lost the name, one of our finder. We have a lot of, I just really got, I got mixed with a lot of women. You can see we always ensure we have enough and good representation of women in all the projects we do. So that's one thing. The other thing, we are very pleased to have launched a specific journal, one of the first of its kind. There are journals, I'm not saying they are not, but these journals, we launched it last year, and I'm very pleased to say it's now published. It's the World Journal of Women and Sustainable Development. And we have fantastic editorial boards, lots of women, and we're going to invite more from all over the world. Professor Kimberly from the US, Lynette Louis, South Africa, Adiola from Rwanda, and then we have Beverly Anderson. Beverly is actually one of the founder of WSD from California, Farida, Queen Mary, Thema, and so on and so on. And as I said, we manage also to attract people like Dr. Khurshid Allam from Bangladesh. He's very keen to join. And then the story will go on and on. So the journal is now published. I'm very pleased to confirm that. And you can go and look to the first article of the journals. You can go to the guidelines and everything about the journals. And please consider submitting and promoting the journal. The other things we are very proud to have done, and I think in the first one, we have built a database, interactive one for women across the world. We call it SDGs Women Who is Who. So all the women who have been involved with WSD, they are here. And you can say them by either their names, their country, their discipline. And you can see here, every woman came across the work we do, although this is very little of them. So they are random. Professor Beverly Anderson, Muna Abdul Aziz, Professor Dua Salman from Egypt, again, Janet Drucker, our founder from University of Westminster, but before was East London, and very highly political leaders like Ambassador Her Excellency Hind Al-Muftah, permanent representative of Qatar. She's one of our co-founders, and young generations like Lena, United Nations Secretary Generals, Olga, all these ladies, Suhair, Maryam Salah, one of the chief leaders of Vodafone in the UK, and so on and so on. Professor Ghada Amir from Egypt, one of the top 550 women leaders in the world, I think, or in the Arab countries. And then the list will go on. We managed to do this, and you can search it by everything. You can search it by who are facilitating, have the skills for facilitating workshop, those who are vice chancellor, those from the United Nations, from government, and so on and so on. You can say them by speakers, keynote speakers, because we keep getting the request, can you nominate a keynote speakers and so on. You can say them by conferences, by discipline, and so on. You can say them by community. Those who are author. I'm looking for women who are having the skills are author. They have written books, journals, and so on. And then the list will start come again. You can see you got now Professor Sanika from Mauritius. You got Professor Andrea from Philippines, and the list will go on and on. The beauty, it is global. You can say them by those from Islamic world, from the diaspora. The diaspora is a big project we initiated 2007 with UNESCO. And these are women who are like myself. I'm a Sudanese. I'm also a British citizen living in the UK half of my life. Those we consider them, we call them diaspora. The contribution of those women is actually double. They contribute to the country where they are living, and they contribute to the country of where they originally from. And also we managed to get that list. It's quite a big list. And then you can say those who are young, those whom we have done interviews. Yesterday, I was talking to one of prominent journalists discussing about how we can really enrich this program. So all these people, if you go to their website, we have done interviews with them, exploring a lot of, if you like, insight about how they managed to achieve. Example, Sarah Collymore, a head teacher in St. George's Church of England Primary School. But she was voted in the United Kingdom as a head teacher of the year, one of the best head teacher in the entire United Kingdom. So there's a lot of story you can hear from this lady. Selma Al-Faqih from the United States, the first clinic in Florida to start testing the vaccine for COVID at the time after the vaccine for adult is already being discovered and under the way for production. The first clinic in Florida was Selma Al-Faqih. I think she's a pediatrician. And then the list will go on and on. Suad Al-Hamadi, the UN campus ambassador of the United Nations representing United Arab Emirates, and so on and so on. So this is the second thing we have been doing. We are very pleased of this project. And then in everything else we do, in the training, in the workshop, all our training program, the leaders are women side. Now, I'm going to stop here. I will encourage you to go to our website, and I encourage you all, and please also spread the word to all those who are following us to go and join the platform. It doesn't matter, you are a top professor, you are a top politician, you can join this platform. It's open for everyone. And particularly, we are very keen for those two categories, young women or young girls, and those from developing countries, because this is what the UN want to find. And secondly, I will encourage you all to consider this journal, because this journal, we have done our part in building the journal, but we want you to contribute to the journal. We want the journal to feature the top research work by leading women